This is the late evening of Thursday, the 29th day of January 2026. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this video. Yesterday, I made a video that some people termed as controversial regarding the issue of Nigeria cooperation with Turkey. I raised my concern, I raised alarm that Turkey has been funding Islamic extremism and terrorism in Nigeria. And I also showed the leak-up conversation between Mustafa, who is an advisor to Erdogān, the president of Turkey, and the chief assistant to the Turkish airline. Okay, so that was what transpired before. I also talked about the meetings that they had in 2014 regarding their interest in Nigeria. Okay, now some people said that the video is controversial. People call me names, but I don't care. Now, that yesterday evening, the president of Turkey vindicated me, and this is what he posted. Pay attention. He wrote, Nigeria is a country of strategic importance within the Organization of Islamic Cooperation and D8, where we cooperate closely on many issues of interest to the Islamic world, particularly Palestine. I want you to understand this, Okocha is not the one that wrote this. This was written, okay, by the president of Turkey. Pay attention. That where we cooperate closely on many issues of interest to the Islamic world, particularly Palestine. Now, I want to let you know that Tinubu going to Turkey is not of the interest of so many people, but it is of the interest of the Islamic world. That is what the president of Turkey is saying. So, no matter what they told you that Tinubu went there to do, Tinubu went there because Nigeria has been registered as a member of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. There are 52 countries and Nigeria is a member. These people, they are like something like a NATO. You understand? So they protect the interest of Islamic world. They promote the interest of Islamic world. And it's not different with what Sheikh Gumi have been telling us in Nigeria, that Boko Haram is a blessing to the northern Muslims in Nigeria, and so on and so forth, that bandits are their freedom fighters. So these people don't hide their agenda. Now, if you critically consider and look the mission of this organization of Islamic something, they started this organization when a mosque was attacked. So it was established to protect the interest and the value of Islamic world. Do I have problem with that? Absolutely no. I don't have problem with that. But this is where the problem is. Pay attention. Tinubu traveled to France. France is a Christian country. Did you hear Emmanuel Macron saying that they are going to cooperate with Nigeria based on Christian concern? No. Tinubu traveled to many countries, including UK. He visited UK always. Have you ever seen Tinubu coming to UK? Maybe the Prime Minister of UK or the Queen of UK or the Prince will come out to say, we want to cooperate with Tinubu of the things of Christian importance. Have you ever seen Macron or Prime Minister of Great Britain, all these countries talking about that? No. Why? Because they understand that Nigeria is so-called secular state. They believe that Nigeria is a so-called secular state. So anything they are doing with Nigeria, they are doing with everybody collectively. So there is nothing like Christianity, Muslims. So it is of general importance to Nigerians. But now, Tinubu is in Turkey. I told you what Erdogān, the president of Turkey, has done. Both this Herzegovina, Bosnia, the crisis that was there before they divided the country into 7, and so on and so forth. So, including how he told, the Muslims in Europe to make sure they give birth to more than 5 because Europeans are not giving birth to children again, so that they will be able to conquer. So all these things are planned to take over. Now, the importance, or what would I say now? The strategic importance of these people in Nigeria is what I want to ask you. For people who have been arguing what you don't know, what is the strategic importance to the Islamic world that Nigeria is? Who is going to tell you? So, you now understand why Sheikh Gumi asked Tinubu to turn to Turkey instead of US. And let me tell you, Boko Haram, all these Islamic, they are being sponsored by these countries who understand that, yes, that all these, freedom fighters, according to Gumi, that they are working in the interest of the Islamic world to bring more people to Islam. Okay? So, They don't hide it. Like you hear last month now when Israel said that Christians will pay with their blood unless you start paying taxes. If you don't want to continue to pay your taxes, then you will be killed. You will pay with your blood. Now, you're watching me. I want to ask you, is this thing right? Let's come to our senses now. Is this thing right? That you travel to sign what you sign, I don't know. And the president of the country you went to, I don't care to know what Tinubu will tell Nigerians. But what the Turkish president say is what Tinubu went there to do. Tinubu was not there because of the interest of Nigerians. He was there because of the interest of Islamic world, said the president of Turkey. You see, I've been saying this time without number. The crimes that people in government commit in this country, nobody's talking about it. I raised an alarm 2 months ago when the Nigerian military captured 4 persons with AK-47. And these people are members of Meeti Allah. And they said that who gave them the gun was the Office of the National Security Advisor. The Office of the National Security Advisor admitted that he gave these people this gun. Number one, Ribado don't have right to carry AK-47. Talk less of giving people AK-47. Number two, the people he gave AK-47 are bloody, Meeti Allah Fulani people. They are not soldiers, they are not police. They don't have the capacity to handle the AK-47. Now, to frame the talk, Ribado office said they are the vigilantes, they are forming. Vigilante you are forming, you gave them AK-47 and soldier arrested them with AK-47. Till today, they swept it under the carpet. Yesterday, what happened? Meeti Allah leaders they were arrested in the same Kwara state. They were supplying weapons, collaborating with the people they call bandits that are linked to Israel. Like, nobody is going to question these people. This kind of terrorism, this kind of art is going on. You will hear the news, you will keep quiet, and you think it's a child's play. No, it is not a child's play. It is not a child's play. People should get ready for what is coming. Every now and then, okay, yesterday, ISWAP captured Nigerian soldiers. 13 of them were captured. They killed many of them. Like, is this the way you people want this thing to be going? Killings every day? And if you talk now, they will tell you, well, this. You are not patriotic. Like, what is the meaning of patriotism to your own definition? Patriotism of keeping quiet in the face of evil, is that patriotism? No. Is the definition of your patriotism? I don't want to be patriotic. That keeping silence in the presence of evil is patriotism? I don't want to be patriotic. I want to speak the truth. I want to speak what is going on. I can't keep quiet because my body will be inching me. Seeing the evils going on, and you'll be keeping quiet because you don't want to die. And at the end, you will still die. So many people in Plateau State, they were telling them, even though you can't do anything, you can't buy guns. Speak out. Speak out. Speak out. Speak out. Some people spoke and the world listened. Speak out. Let your words, your voices gather momentum. They said, no, if we talk, they will come after us. We said, no problem. And the following week, we received the news that they were burned inside the house. They gathered of them, they burned them inside the house. Like, it was a heartbreak. Like, my heart was broken. Speak. Let us speak collectively. Let this thing gather momentum. We can't, we won't do this, we won't do this, they will come after us, and at the end, they came after you and they killed you. So, it is not, it's good for you to tell people, don't speak, please be careful, this thing you are saying is true, but people will come after you. Have they not been coming after people every day? You know how many people that died today? Which one they will come after you? They are killing people every day. You say they will come after you. You see, the reason why a revolution cannot happen in Nigeria is because everybody is afraid of their life. And at the end, everybody is losing their life. Afraid for nothing. Don't you see what is going on in Iran? Do you know how many people that have been killed in Iran? Are they giving up? What is the value of life in this Nigeria? What is the value of life in this Nigeria? Someone should tell me, what is the value of life? For me, absolutely nothing. Nothing. What is the value of life? Anyway, it is what it is. I said, let me refresh people's memory to the video I did yesterday. The Turkish president has vindicated me, and he has said the reason why Tinubu is in Turkey. I am not a Muslim. It's not bad to be a Muslim. I love Muslims. Most of them are my friends. But if you say Nigeria is a secular state, there are some things you don't do. And that is why we are bringing, it's no longer a humble suggestion. It's a reality that Nigeria must go in the way of Yugoslavia. That was what solved the problem there. Okay? So if Nigeria can't humbly Forget about your agenda and all these things. Humbly accept the reality and allow ethnic nationalities to have their freedom. We are in cage. We are in total bondage. Forget about money. Like, what is the essence of money without security, without life? What are you doing with the money? The whole money Abacha noted. Where is Abacha today? Like, what is money? What is money? Like, it is well. Anyway, it is well.
Let me get into terror financing, and then I'll come to the OSW you talked about.
Yeah.
For you, successive administrations have paid lip service to unmasking prominent Nigerians allegedly financing terror and oil theft. Why do you hold this view? Allegedly so. And do you know, I mean, one would ask whether you know them. If true, what do you think is responsible for the past administration's attitude, regarding this so-called financiers of terror?
Okay, thank you very much again for this brilliant question. Now, let me, relate to my experience, right, as the commander of the Operation Service Wide, which was an intelligence-driven outfit. Now, like I said, we picked the main leaders and other facilitators, financiers, sponsors, and this. And then we commenced investigation.
By picked, you mean you arrested?
Arrested, captured, arrest, Now, we picked them. That is, it was a collaborative effort, those elements that I mentioned. And investigation was ongoing, and the investigation team was made up of representatives from the Department of State Services, from the Defense Intelligence Agency, from the military police, that's the army aspect of it, from the NFIU, the investigation, and it revealed so much. And like I earlier said, right, certain intelligence was shared. We were collaborating with about 33 countries in Europe, Western Europe, Asia, and other distant were collaborating with us and distant. Now, in the course of the investigation, I mean, we stumbled upon names of individuals, prominent individuals, and some of them are still prominent, and including the owner of an airline who was ferrying weapons allegedly for Boko Haram and other reasons. So those information, we took our concern, made our concern known, the investigation in terms of interim listening to the powers that be at the time. And some of those people were linked to even cabinet ministers. Some of the people were even arrested. Some of the people who were investigating were linked to them. Were linked to senior military retired now of generals and the rest, linked to many prominent distinct. And in the course of our investigation, I mean, we now, let me just add also, we had 3 representatives from the Attorney Generals of the Federation Office, that's Minister of Justice, that were with us to guide us while we were making the case, so that because ultimately the Office of the Attorney General was to prosecute
those you arrest.
Right. Now, but as the thing progressed, I mean, we started noticing some kind of how should I put it? We noticed some kind of hesitation. I mean, things started coming up like, okay, some of these people, I mean, it would be difficult to pin terrorism financing on them, perhaps money laundering. I mean, look, then you started getting some calls that some people, prominent that you should release, so person is not this and that, something, this. As the commander, I made my concern known to the president, late President Muhammad Buhari. I made it when I said, so this, and I recall on one occasion, he stood up, very angry. He said, General, I appointed you as the commander of Operation Service Wide. You report to me and to me alone. That was his exact words to me. General Muhammad Buhari, a great man. I mean, of course, he had his shortcomings. I was very angry when the whole thing happened, and I mean, he didn't even raise a finger to this thing. But I later came to realize, you know, that perhaps he was misled.
You
Perhaps
say Atahiru devised a strategy, the late Chief of Army Staff,
Yes.
to end terrorism in the north. Fill us in on this strategy. Is it being implemented now?
I don't know whether that strategy is implemented. Before delving into that, let me just say that the military and other security agencies are doing fantastic work. They're doing their best. They have challenges. Perhaps I'll come to that later. I mean, they listen, but they are doing their best, and they have a lot of challenges. Now, the strategy is nothing fantastic to say. I mean, it was just sincerity. Now, we had the OSW, which was on, right? It's set up in 2020, 2020.
You actually headed the OSW,
Yes.
and the mandate was to dismantle the terrorism financing network
Absolutely.
in order to fight against terrorism and insurgency. Will it be correct to say that you could not achieve that mandate?
No, we achieved.
Or that you failed?
No, we achieved, because we achieved to an extent, because we arrested the leadership of the Boko Haram, just like I said, the leader. I don't want to mention his name because I'm not too sure, but I understand. I heard from the grapevine that he was released along with the 5 key guys, and that leader of Boko Haram, just like I said, the United Arab Emirates shared that intelligence with us. I know, with all this, and he was the one who even recruited the 6 individuals. They were jailed, 2 for life, 1 for 30 years, 1 for 20 years, another 1 for 10 years, and another 1 for 5 years, the 6 of them. He was the recruiter of this thing. And yet, right, that man I learned, he and the 5 other guys who had this thing were released. I don't know for what reason. I don't know what reason. They were never prosecuted, not to the best of my knowledge. I don't know whether they were this, but they were never prosecuted. So, you see, those were kind of the fear, if I may use that term or word, the fear that one has over what has happened right now in terms of the arrest of those leadership. We hope that the thing we see will come to fruition.
Day.
Yes.
You had written to the president concerning your arrest, detention, and compulsory retirement over what an investigation task force you headed unearthed. Tell us more about that.
Yeah. Like I was arrested on the 18th of October 2021 and detained for 64 days under terrible condition, stripped of all my dignity. I mean, stripped. You know, a general being my head here removed by a soldier, my boots, I was left barefooted, and in a cell. I mean, it was a terrible situation. And then on 21st of December 2021, they came to release me, and they handed over my letter of compulsory retirement. And I made effort to get across to the late former president. And let me just add, as bitter as I am, as pained as I am over what Buhari did to me, as I said, I realized that he was naive, he was misled, and for that I forgive him. You know, and I urge anybody who has this thing, if it's on account of me, to forgive him for this thing. But anyway, coming back to that, on the I made strenuous effort to have that injustice corrected. It wasn't. Now, on June 7th, 2023, that was exactly 10 days before my late mother passed away. She died on the 17th of June. Along the Kaduna-Abuja highway, I and my driver, we survived an assassination attempt. We were pursued by 2 vehicles, and at a point I had to call the commander of the troops along that highway, whom was appointed at the time. I was the general officer commanding 1 division, and they came, and that was what we were able to get away. You know, that was the 4th attempt. And on that, when that thing happened, of course, you can imagine my state of mind. I mean, 2 years after I was thrown out of the army, nothing done, so I now wrote to the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I wrote and I passed the letter, through a reliable listen to get across to him, because I didn't want to send it through the open mail. I never wanted this thing to be in the media. So that was, it was signed on the 21st of June 2023. Nothing was done. 6 months later, if you recall, January 2024, last year, that was when the news first broke, this day, and then you invited me to Arise, and I came and listened. Then,
I'm afraid my time is up.